When my puppy got locked in the cupboard. Hi, I am Sarah. One thing that characterizes me is my love for dogs. Big, small, furry, patchy. I simply love them all. When I was a kid, I used to bring home a new puppy every day from my school compound. Needless to say, that would get me a good scolding from my parents. Since my mom is allergic to dogs, we could never really have a pet. When I got my first job, my dad gave me the best gift of my life. Yes, you got that right, a puppy. Oh, was I ecstatic? He was the most adorable little thing that I had ever seen. The very instant I saw him, he had my heart. I named him Snuggles. The best and the most annoying thing about Snuggles was that he never let me sleep alone. He would find me from anywhere in the house and climb over my pillow to sleep. Yes, my pillow was his sleeping couch. Also, he was one of the most notorious pups I had ever come across. Anything that would go missing in the house could be traced back to Snuggles. Since he was too young and I had no pet care facility in my office, I would drop him every morning to my friend's place. My friend also has a pet named Tom. Tom and Snuggles would get along really well. Snuggles loved Tom's company. Though Tom was much taller and bulkier than him, it wouldn't stop him from running around and playing pranks on him. After a long, tiring day, when I would go to pick up Snuggles, he would come running to me and start licking my face. That was always the best moment of my day. One morning, as I called my friend to get a confirmation on the dropping time for Snuggles, she told me she was out of town. This meant that she could not watch Snuggles for the day. This put me in a real pickle. I would have stayed back, but I had an urgent appointment which couldn't have been postponed. Well, I made a few calls here and there, but all in vain. Having no other option in my hand, I left Snuggles at home and promised him to come back soon. This was the first time that he was alone. We were both nervous. I went to the office, attended my clients, and left early. As soon as I got back home, I called out for Snuggles. I had already imagined my little goofball to come running to me as I opened the door. However, contrary to my expectations, he was nowhere to be seen. Well, figuring he might be upset or sleeping, I started looking for him in the apartment. When I still couldn't find him, I got scared. I quickly went around checking if all the windows were shut. They were. Then I ran through the corridor of the building and still had no luck. There was no door on the floor that I didn't knock looking for Snuggles. I took a stroll around the block to ask if anyone else had seen him. I broke down in the middle of the road. I could not hold back my tears anymore. My mind stopped working and I did not know what to do. I kept calling out his name again and again and again until my voice cracked in tears. I called my friend to check if he had reached there. She checked with her parents and said they hadn't seen him too. They suggested me to file a complaint and stay strong. Given that my mind wasn't working at all, I quietly followed their instructions. I went to the station, registered a complaint. The officer promised me he will look into it and asked me to wait for his call. I was devastated. I came back home, threw my jacket on the sofa, went into the bedroom and sat beside the cupboard with my tears flowing endlessly down the cheeks. All kinds of bad thoughts were running around my mind. Suddenly, I heard a strange sound coming from inside the cupboard. What was that? I slowly went towards it, and as I opened it, I couldn't believe my eyes. There he was, my little Snuggles, sitting comfortably in the right corner of the shelf, with my t-shirt wrapped around his body. He was half asleep, The moment he saw me with his big puppy eyes, he jumped at me and licked my face. Earlier, if someone had asked me, how do I define happiness? I wouldn't know what to answer. Well, I knew now. That feeling of finding him couldn't have possibly been explained. Though this became one of those crazy family stories to be told on every Christmas and Thanksgiving, that was the last time I ever left Snuggles alone.